Now during the course of this build I've been asked on several occasions what am I going to be treating the wood with, and 2 people have even asked me will I be using Danish oil. Now Danish oil is a great product, it's a wood preserver and it's fantastic for using outside on garden furniture, but in a confined space like this it's really not a good idea because it is quite toxic. It's very high in volatile organic compounds, and just to demonstrate how high in volatile compounds this stuff is, I'll show you something. This may surprise you. This tin of rust preventative red oxide primer has the same amount of volatile organic compounds as Danish oil. This has 25%, well between 25 to 50% VOCs, and VOCs basically they're solvents. They're a solvent that evaporates into the air, which allows the product to dry, and Danish oil has the same amount of solvents in it as this tin of red oxide primer. You wouldn't want to paint your whole of the interior of your van in red oxide primer, would you? So why use Danish oil? And when people do use Danish oil, they don't just do 1 coat, they'll do 3 or 4 coats, absolutely saturate the wood, and it can take up to 6 months to 20 years for it to off gas. I've done my research, I've looked on Google. Trust me, if you don't believe me, go on Google and have a look yourself. Now I haven't got any Danish oil here because yeah, basically I don't like the stuff, but I did go to B&Q the other day and I had a little quick video just to show you that it is on the tin. I'll show you that clip right now. So yeah, the Danish oil is 25 to 50%, huge difference, massive difference. And beeswax, let's have a look what beeswax is. Oh, beeswax is low, 0.3% again. Finishing wax, look at that, it's whopping 50%. So there you go, that's a massive difference. Be careful what you use. You've got plenty to choose from. So there you go, that was me in B&Q. I just did that just quickly to show you that Danish oil is really high in VOCs. But why am I so passionate? Why am I so pumped up about this? Because when I was a kid I suffered from asthma and it was terrifying, and VOCs can bring on asthma in young children, and it says it here on the internet. It says, and I'll quote, VOC causes nose, throat irritation, frequent headaches, nausea, and can also damage the liver and kidneys and central nervous system. It can take up to 6 months after the application, and other sources such as particle board may continue to off gas for 20 years. Like I said earlier, 20 years this stuff can hang around for. Now here's the article that caught my eye. VOCs are also the components of paint that cause you to develop a headache after painting. In addition, the VOC-rich air in your home, or in our case our camper van, over a period of time can put you or your family members at a higher risk of developing asthma or allergies. Now when I read this article I thought that makes sense, because when I was a kid it wasn't until we started going camping that I developed asthma, and I didn't really put the two together until I read this, and that's why I wanted to make this video. And speaking from experience, because when I was a child I was fine, I could run around, I could play football, all that good stuff, no dramas, no problems whatsoever. It wasn't until we started going camping that it brought on my asthma, and it was always to do with a chemical reaction. My asthma never come on through exercise, it was always something chemical that brought it on. In particular, one day I remember my mum giving us these little tip-top drinks, a little plastic carton drink with a silver foil. I don't know if you can still buy them or not, but yeah, and it had a silver top and you had to pierce the lid with a straw. Now I drank one of these drinks and we were in the middle of nowhere, hot sunny day, and I was really thirsty, so I just gulped this drink down and it brought on my asthma, and I had the worst asthma attack of my life. Ended up in an ambulance, hospital, all that stuff, and it was frightening, really terrifying, all because of a little drink. It was the chemicals in that drink that brought that asthma attack on. And I mean, thankfully, touch wood, there's plenty of that around here. I've not had an asthma attack for years. Not since I give up smoking anyway. No, but seriously, I've not had an asthma attack for years. But even now, I've been very wary, I should say, of drinking one of these drinks. Maybe I should try and find one and drink it just as an experiment, as long as I've got an asthma pump available. But yeah, getting back to this, that's why it's important to keep VOCs to a minimum in your van, and yeah, just make sure it's ventilated, especially if you've got young children, especially that. And this is what I used in my van, my camper van parked across the road there. I used wood dye. This is a water-based product, therefore it's low in VOCs, and the reason it's low in VOCs is quite simple. It's low in solvents. There's not that many solvents in it, and this, for instance, is 0.3% to 7.99%. Staggeringly, I mean, that's just a fraction of what this stuff contains. Another example, varnish. Varnish is quite misunderstood as well. Yacht varnish, for instance, it says for outdoor wood, for good reason. Yacht varnish is meant to be used outside because it is very high in solvents. In fact, the same amount of solvents are in this again as this red oxide primer. It's 25 to 50%. But the really amazing stuff about this, Ronseal does what it says on the tin. Remember the advert? Take a look at this. This may interest you, may surprise you. Look at the size of the label compared to this. Now these products both contain the same amount of VOCs. This label significantly bigger than this one, even though this tin is the size it is. So shame on Ronseal, shame on them. They've made the label so small I can't even read it with my glasses on. I had to get my phone and enlarge it so I could actually read what it says. So yeah, be careful. Always read what it says on the tin, regardless of what it can do. So that's yacht varnish. Now interior wood varnish, again this stuff is water based, therefore it's lower in VOCs because it's got less solvents in it, and it has again 0.3% to 7.99%, so 0.3% to roughly 8% VOCs compared to 25% to 50% yacht varnish. So it just shows you a massive difference, massive miles apart. So basically try and use a water-based product to treat your wood inside your camper van. Now in my van I used, like I said earlier, this wood dye, and now to me it doesn't smell at all. It's all off gassed, it's nothing, no smell whatsoever. But the truth of the matter is, it does still smell, but I can't smell it because I've got used to it. And I'll know this because when I show people my van, as soon as I open the door, the first thing they say is, oh, I like the wood, I like the way it smells. And I think, well, I can't smell anything. That's because I've got used to it. I've gone nose blind. That's exactly what will happen to you. You'll think, oh, it doesn't smell anymore, it's safe to use. But it's not, it's still there. The simple fact is, you've got used to the smell, your nose has got used to it, you've gone nose blind, you can't smell it anymore. That's why, please be very careful when choosing a product to treat the wood in your van. You may not have as much wood as this, you may have just a small cabinet that you want to treat, but remember, it is inside a confined space and it will linger for an awful long time if you use any real solvent based product. So try and use water based products with low VOCs. Now I will put a link to the rest of this van build up there, and I'll put a link to some other videos that may interest you up here. And if you are new to my channel, do please consider subscribing. I'll put a little bell there for you with my face on it. Touch that and don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss a thing. And if you like this video, please do give me the thumbs up. If you don't like this video, you disagree with anything I say, then please do leave a comment below or give me the thumbs down. But I'd rather you left a comment below. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra for now.